Hi there, this is Celise and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at my Blue Vines painting from my Abstract Vines series. This one involves several different steps and layers, so let's go and get started. So to start on this one, I already had drawn out the different shapes of the vines that I wanted, and so then I went in with just black, white, and gray acrylic paint. So as I'm filling in the different areas, I also have to think a little bit about what parts are going to be underneath each other and which vines are going to go through each other. So you'll see me kind of hesitate a few times and really think through, okay, where do I want this vine to go? For this, I am using just regular acrylic paint. Sometimes I will actually use craft paint on these because I like how runny the paint can be. Sometimes when I use heavy body paints for this stage, it's a little bit more cumbersome, so I actually like to use thinner paints for this underpainting. Notice that I am using different shades of grays, not just one shade of gray or two. There's multiple shades of gray along with the black and the white. I do this because when I go in and add color on top of this, I want to make sure that there are different values represented. Next, I'm going to take a glaze and go over the entire painting. For this particular painting, it's a monochromatic, so that means I'm just using one color, in this case, blue. So I'd taken some blue acrylic paint and I went ahead and mixed that with a acrylic medium or varnish. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this so far. So for the varnish, the thing to remember is that I want to add thin layers. So you're actually seeing me add multiple layers on this. I believe I added 4 different layers of the glaze, allowing it to dry in between each layer. And you'll notice that it starts to build up and the color, you can see the blue show up even more after each layer. When I'm near the end of the glazing portion, I like to go in with a more saturated or a more opaque glaze, meaning that the glaze has more acrylic paint in it than it does glaze. I also will add just a touch of white acrylic to make it a little bit more pastel-like. That's just a personal preference. I like for one of my layers or some of my vines to have kind of that almost pastel look. So here I'm just going in, touching up any parts that are not opaque enough or that I can see through. Now to my favorite part, the stippling. So I personally find stippling, which is adding dots to show shading, I find this very relaxing, and so this is one of my favorite parts. For this part, I am using just a black acrylic paint pen. And when I go around the edges of each of the vines, I like to put my dots closer together so it looks a little bit darker and then I get further apart. On this one, I'm actually using a white paint pen for the lighter areas. I feel like the white just kind of makes those areas pop out even more in comparison to where the black dots are or the black stippling is. I feel like it just finishes off the piece well. And there you have it. So here is my blue vines from my Abstract Vines series. This is available on my Etsy shop and at my website, and the links will be below. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Be blessed.